back to Candidates Night at Penn's Peak in beautiful Jim Thorpe. Well, this event this evening is sponsored by the Lehigh 912 Project and the 912 Tea Party of the Lehigh Valley. We're going to start our next session with the candidate for the congressional seat in the 11th District, Mr. Lou Barletta. Lou Barletta is the Republican candidate for United States Senate 11th District. He is currently the mayor of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, where he was born and raised. He was elected to Hazleton City Council in 1998 and became mayor in 2000. In 2004, Mayor Barletta was appointed to the White House to serve as a member of the United Nations Advisory Committee of Local Authorities. In February of 2006, he was appointed to serve on the Pennsylvania League of Cities and Municipalities Legislative Committee. Mayor Barletta is on the National Board of Advisors of the Federation for American Immigrant Reform, known as FAIR. He is also a board member of the Northeast District of the Pennsylvania League of Cities and Municipalities and is a member of the advisory board of Luzerne County Community College. In 2008, he was named Mayor of the Year by the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association. Lou and wife Mary Grace are the proud parents of 4 daughters, Kelly, April, Lindsay, and Grace, and they've got a grandson, Gabriel Lewis. Now, Mr. Barletta is going to speak to all of you, and you will also have your opportunity to ask questions to him. So if you would please welcome Mayor Lou Barletta.
Thank you. I'm truly honored to be with so many great Americans here tonight. This election is probably the most important election of our lifetime. This election will not be about Democrats versus Republicans. This election is about the direction and 2 very different visions for America. Now, if you're happy with the way things are going here in America, then I'm not your person. But if you feel as I do, like most Americans, that our government has taken too much control of our lives, if this country is on the wrong direction, if we're losing more and more of our personal freedoms, personal liberties, as we watch our government take over businesses, take over banks, pick and choose what businesses will succeed and what businesses are just too big, I don't believe that's the direction that we want this country to go on. I still believe in personal freedoms. I still believe in less government. I believe that if you work hard, and if you play by the rules, that you deserve your just reward. My opponent and I have 2 very, very different visions for this country. He agrees with the direction that we're on. He's voted with Nancy Pelosi over 97% of the time. We cannot afford 2 more years of the direction we're on because it may be too late. Now, I ran for Congress back in 2008, and I want to thank so many of you who I know are here, who supported me and stood by me. Now, that was a very difficult election. But things are much different today. As I travel around the 5 counties, I see more and more people who are frustrated, who are angry, who want common sense returned back to their government, who want their government returned back to the people. And that's exactly what I plan to do. Because on November 2nd, ladies and gentlemen, on November 2nd, we are going to return Washington back to you. Because when I ran in 2008, it was loud and clear. The voice of the American people were loud and clear. And as disappointed as I was, we came oh so close. American in this district voted for change, and America voted for change. There's no question about it. But Americans didn't want to change America. Americans wanted to change Washington. And that is what we're going to do on November 2nd. We're going to get it right this time. And people in Washington are going to be held accountable for what is going on right now. Because we're told things are better. And what we're seeing right now in 2010, this year, we're seeing more bankruptcies right here in Carbon County, in Monroe County, in Luzerne County, in Lackawanna County. We're seeing more bankruptcies, more foreclosures, unemployment at an 18-year high, and more people living in poverty than in the last 15 years. And this will continue if we continue on the course we're going. And that's what my opponent wants. He wants to continue spending and spending and spending until this debt that they are accumulating in Washington will destroy this country. Now something different has happened to me personally since I ran in 2008. I became a grandfather to Gabriel Lewis. And I look at Gabriel and I truly worry what kind of America we're going to leave him. Every generation since this country was founded, every generation has left the next generation a better opportunity, a better chance, a better life and quality of life than they had. We all know the stories of our grandparents, of how difficult it was here, how much they loved this country, but they worked for their children, and they left their children a better chance. And we all know about how hard our parents worked and how they worked so that we would have a better opportunity, so that we can do a little better than they did. We may be the first generation that will not be able to say that to the next generation if we don't stand up. And I have faith that the American people will stand up, and I will not let Gabriel Lewis down. When he asks me, Grandpa, when you had a chance to do something, did you do it? And I'm going to say, yes, I did. I did do it. And it wasn't me alone. It was many people who believe the same way that I do. Americans from coast to coast will come out in November. I had the opportunity of living the American dream. I truly did. My wife and I started our own business on $29.95 with just a dream. We were able to work and build that business to the largest of its kind in Pennsylvania, and when we sold it, it was the 6th largest of its kind in the country. I don't believe the next generation would have that same opportunity if we continue on the course we're on. I don't believe they're going to be able to dream and take a chance and be an entrepreneur and have that entrepreneurial spirit that made this country so great. I don't believe those opportunities will continue if this out-of-control government continues to take over more and more and more of the businesses, of our spending, of our personal freedoms. So I'm going to do my best. But I know I'm not standing alone. And just as I told you when I had to stand up against the problem in Hazleton, against illegal immigration, because again, Washington has failed us, I was never standing alone. I stood with millions of people all over the United States that send a loud and clear message to Washington. But Washington's not listening. And Washington's still not listening when millions and millions of Americans said they did not want the government to take over their health care. They passed it anyway. After Scott Brown won in Massachusetts in a historical election, Americans thought their voices were heard. But without batting an eyelash, this government went straight forward. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was Paul Kanjorski's vote that put the health care bill over the top. Well, we're going to have some explaining to do on November 2nd, because the very first thing we're going to do is defund the health care bill. And make sure that decisions about your health aren't made by politicians in Washington, but they're going to be made by physicians in your doctor's office. And that's the very first thing we're going to do. also going to make sure that our borders are secure. And we're going to make sure that the new immigrants that come to this country for the greatest opportunity that they could have on this planet have that opportunity and are not competing with those that have come here illegally, taking their jobs away and making Americans work for less money. That's what I'm going to do when I go to Washington. Because you see, I stood up before and I didn't back down. And I'll stand up again. But I'll stand with you. So I want to thank you so much for the support you've given me in the past. When we go to Washington, we're going to get the spending under control. We are not going to spend money we don't have. We're going to respect the Constitution, and we're going to make sure that everyone that goes to Washington understands who sent them there and who they have to answer to. Thank you very much.